Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Let's Play Shining Force 3. This is Battle 17, and please accept my apologies for the last few months of non-updates. There's a bunch of reasons for it, but I'm not going to go into it because, quite frankly, it's going to bore the hell out of you. We're in the middle of the Aspia Desert, and we have a lot to get through. We have been locked out, yes, locked out of Aspia, and the direct route to Flagard, where we believe something is going down. So our only way to get through would, of course, be to go through the Mines of Moria. Not really the Mines of Moria, but similar enough nonetheless. Yes, there is even a large fiery thing that comes out in the middle of it, but I won't spoil that too much. Oh no, Pen is being attacked. What shall happen? Absolutely nothing, because Pen cares not for your flippin' tree, you know, indeed. Pen is actually unstoppable at this point in time. It is really ridiculous, and I intend to keep him that way. Now, Dantes we've got using a spear for the time being, so we want to try and train his spear skills up. He's sitting on rank 0 with spears, which is an embarrassing amount. He's at rank 2 with lances, and he can't go any higher till he gets promoted. He's level 15 right now. We'll probably save till at least 16 or 17 before promoting him. Eldar also not doing particularly well right now, vastly underleveled in comparison. Something we may have to attempt to rectify in the next couple of battles. Might do a little bit of power leveling on Eldar to get her back up to strength. And yes, him, I don't really care, to be honest. You don't really see any anatomical differences between the two. So expect gender confusion on behalf of Birdman / Birdwoman / Birdthing. None of the mobs on this particular battlefield pose too much of a threat because they're in small, isolated groups. Admittedly, of course, the acid breath from the Hydras is not particularly nice, but it's nothing that we're going to die from by any stretch of the imagination, and the debuff can be easily reversed by simply casting the support spell. Now, Pen, as you can see, has a curse on him. Yes, indeed. He is wearing the Chaos Ring, which is causing him to be cursed, but it's not stopping him from kicking unholy amounts of arse. As clearly demonstrated, you will see way more damage from our Emperor Pen a little bit later on, that I can guarantee. Now, we are trying to get some friendship up between Pen and Noon, and succeeding rather well at the moment. I believe we've got him up to level 3 of friendship. Why? Well, because Pen has an aura of luck, and that friendship aura is vitally important for Noon later on when he gets his Soul Steal spell, which depends on luck for success. Now, skipped forward a few turns, we're engaging a small group of Bearzol soldiers, which are of no threat whatsoever. This is the last time we'll see them, but we will certainly see their copies of graded versions of later on. That's a pretty consistent thing throughout the series. The only thing which is really dangerous is that large group over there. There's a nasty combination of casters, ranged units, and the hard-hitting boss. You can also see over there in the corner we've got a tomb. Later on, I'll be showing you how to fail at Tomb 4. Because yes, I absolutely screwed up at it, and while that is unforgivable, I'd like you to learn a little bit from my mistakes. You ask me, well, why didn't you just do it again? Well, I kind of accidentally saved. Yeah. That's not such a good thing. You think, oh, well, surely you have multiple saves. No. The battery backup memory in the Saturn only supports one save for Shining Force 3 because it takes up too many blocks of memory. And unfortunately, while using the import cartridge, you cannot use a memory card. Very unpleasant. Bad design there from Sega. Now, we are trying to get Obright's axe skill up a little bit here, because while he's great in hand axes, in his normal axes, not so good. And the normal axes scale way better a little bit later on in the game, and the best weapons you can get for him are, of course, normal axes as opposed to hand axes. As you might expect. I'm going to keep Eldar out of the way, because Eldar's defense is criminally low. You also see that Khan is level 4 promoted. I did that, of course, to use the Mithril Claw, and you'll get to see him ripping stuff up with that later on. He is very effective with the Claw, especially if you can get him trained up in it. Combination of the Claw and the Cestus both have different uses. Some are better than others in certain situations, so it's best to be leveled up in both. Now, I cannot imagine why I actually did that, of all things. I think I was just clicking too fast, as I tend to do every now and again. It's like, get through it as fast as possible. Oh, wait, wasting spells. Oh, could be worse. Let's get rid... No, I don't think so, actually. We will hit that one. I would like Eldar to get the last hit on that to get some experience, although I have the feeling now that these infantry units aren't really going to give us much in the way of useful amounts of XP. They're pretty pathetic in comparison to what we've got and pose no threat. Kite, on the other hand, does need to be healed up, so let's get him back on full health with a heal rank 2. And level 16 for Grace. Grace will be certainly getting an upgrade very, very soon. Oh, no, I might do it after this battle, we'll see. I think 16 is certainly a reasonable number to do your promotions at, and that was also a reasonable stat gain, so you can't complain too much. Now, Horst, as you might imagine, against these polearm-wielding troops is a bit of a wrecking machine, but I don't want to be doing that. I'm trying to save them for those who will actually benefit. Horst won't. Horst is already promoted. He's going to get like 1 XP, if that. Now, as much as I would have liked to leave this guy alive, evidently Hayward didn't. An 8 experience for a good overkill there, so it's not too bad. Better than the 1 XP that most of the other units that we have would have gotten. Now, I can't say that I'm too worried about this. Particularly when it does nifty things like that. You can see he's not doing a massive amount of damage at the moment. He is trained to rank 1 in axes, which is a good start. But we do want to try and get him to rank 2. Now, you can see Khan has got 40 HP now. He's a very, very good character to actually do a little bit of tanking, particularly with counter. You'll notice that the Mithril Claw, if you remember the stats that we described in the last update, actually gives plus counter, and indeed most claws give plus counter. So he's great for taking hits and then dishing the damage back out again. As a healer, he's also quite an attractive target for a lot of enemies. That's just the way the AI works. It tends to prioritize healers and, of course, Kite, who is the main general unit. Nothing may stand when Pen is around. 36 damage. Ludicrous overkill there from Pen. You know what? Why not? Let's just let him kill the other one as well. Skip forward a little bit there, and go after the Hellhound, which is approaching Grace with mean intent. Pen, however, shall save the day. Good lord! Ugh, that's crazy. It's wonderful, though. It's so wonderful. It's been, like, how many years since I've owned this game, and that's the first time I've got Pen to the state where he can absolutely murder anything it sees? Awesome. Wonderful. But the best thing is he gets another promotion in rank 3. Let's get Kite back up. Now, I must say that I'm not using Khan really as a main healer. He's never any good at that. At all, but he is great at wrecking stuff. You see their stats increase is very, very good. So as you get increased stats for at least the first few levels of promotion, which is really great. You're going to see a large jump in power of our characters over the next few battles. Well, then again, you're also going to see a large jump in difficulty over the next few battles. Just dispatch this last soldier, and then we can move on. And we're going to be skipping forward after this for quite a few turns. We get everyone in position to assault the main enemy force by the entrance to the cave. Cool 18 XP there, and off we go. And the Wing Knight initially engaging there with Horst. I'm not too worried about that. Wing Knights, again, pretty much useless at this point. They were not all that dangerous when they started. They're certainly not anymore. I don't know why they still have them. It's just another example of this game kind of giving you cannon fodder enemies for longer than is relevant. I have to be careful with our arrangement, though, because there is a not-so-cannon fodder enemy right behind them there in the form of an Aspia Mage. It's very likely that you're going to end up getting hit by the Aspia Mage, particularly on this level because of the limitations of movement with the desert environment. Moving up on the Aspia Mage and actually killing him before he's able to cast, very difficult. Usually not all that possible. You generally just got to eat the AoE, which most people consider to be fine as long as you prepared yourself suitably for it. Bit of a risky move here, moving Eldar there, but I would quite like to take out the Wing Knight to get some extra experience and a successful kill there by Eldar. Do we get anything? Yeah, 14, not too bad. That's level 13 for Eldar, and a nice stat up there. Very good indeed. Don't need to have that. I've never ever used one of those things. You'll never see me use them because they're a waste of space. All they are is a version of the return spell. I want to engage with Horst and hopefully get a critical hit. No, not so much luck. Down to 3 HP there. But you'd be surprised. With the desert there, it seems unlikely that we'll be able to get in range. Oh, that's going to make it even worse. Using the Aura spell there, an AoE heal, very powerful. And the Aspia Mage possibly back to full health. Well, close enough. That can make things a little bit trickier. Attempt to finish the Aspia Mage off is going to be less than successful this time. Hayward, of course, having serious issues on the desert environment. Not being able to get close enough to engage. Now, we'll be able to get rid of that Wing Knight, certainly, with the hand axe. It wouldn't be a kill on the Aspia Mage, We want to try and get rid of the Wing Knight, and then we can concentrate on the Aspia Mage, and hopefully everything will be alright. I would imagine that even if it does manage to get the AoE off, which it is evidently going to do, that it shouldn't cause us too many problems. A lot of high HP, high defense characters up at the front. Doesn't make so much of a difference with magic, but it should hopefully let them survive. And our healers are close behind. This is the kind of situation you do want to avoid later in the game because there are multiple units that can do this kind of thing, and a lot of faster units or ranged units that can easily pick off the low HP characters. It's not a very pleasant situation to be in. Irene very popular now, as you can clearly see. The healers do tend to get that way. Get Obright back up to full health. Before we move in to engage the majority of that force. The Wing Knights have been eliminated. We're left with the Mercenary and Aspia Mage, High Priest, and of course the Commander. The Commander, as long as he stays back there, isn't going to be too much of a threat. If he decides to wade in, then it could be very messy very quickly. Let's get rid of the Aspia Mage once and for all. Not going to muck about with the spear at this point. We don't want this guy casting again. Down he goes. The Commander has decided to wade in and is going after Kite. We can show you the damage potential of this unit. He does have 2 special abilities, none of which should really be too much of a problem, particularly once you have eliminated all his guards. So that's going to be the priority at this point. Otherwise, he basically can't kill anyone. You can box him in, you can eliminate him. And a very nice hit there on the High Priest by Hayward, down to 19 HP. Should be able to hopefully finish him off this turn. We don't want another... Oh, too late. Another heal. No, we're going for a Tornado this time. It's a Tornado rank 3. It's not a particularly threatening ability. Particularly not on magic using defensive classes. Taking Kite down to 8 HP. There is a potential for Kite's death here if we're not careful. Particularly with the Mercenary now, moving straight in on Kite. This is going to be unpleasant if he gets a full swing. No, he doesn't. Down to 1 HP. Ugh. Thankfully, we know he's going to be okay now, because that was all the damage potential of the enemies used in a single turn. Had he done a full swing there, that would have been a very unceremonious end to our attempt on this battle. How unfortunate. Most of them is not particularly dangerous, but they do have something called full swing, which is exactly the same as a critical hit. Now, we want to get rid of this High Priest, so who better to send? Boom! Sacrilegious. Now, if we can move Noon in, it doesn't look like we can get in range. Again, Elfin unit has some serious issues moving on the desert area. We can't get Khan in there either, but we're definitely set up for a good box in next turn. I'm a little unwilling to take Dantes forward because the Commander might decide to one-shot him. There's certainly a potential for that.
Prepare to die.
Mercenary taking a heavy amount of damage, but not down yet. You see, Dantes has kind of reached a power peak before his level up. Once he gets his promotion, then you'll see him wrecking like no one's business. Get him back up to full HP, just in case the Mercenary decides to turn around and do a full swing, which could kill him. At 16 HP, it's not very likely, but you never know. Dante's defense has not been so great lately. He is a very much an early game character. His mid game is particularly average. But once he gets his promotion and he's good mithril and magic weapons, then he is pretty much unstoppable. Risky business here with Kite. I don't want to risk... And I don't really want to risk that, to be honest. Or do I? Nah, we'll get rid of the Mercenary for the time being. As far as I know, this boss character does not have a counter-attack ability, so... it shouldn't be a problem. We can easily get him back up to full HP. Now, if everyone's on full health, and he doesn't go after a weaker character like, say, a healer, at this point, it's a guaranteed win. The reason being that his abilities can't kill the majority of our higher HP characters in a single shot. One of them could take any character down to 1 HP, but it can't kill anybody. It's called the Regret Hit. The Regret Hit is only any use when combined with other enemies. Otherwise, it's basically useless. It's a bit of a drain on the healers, but not too much of a problem. No Regret Hit or Star Bomb this time, down to 12 HP. Not a threat whatsoever. Now we're going to try and maneuver our forces around in a suitable fashion so as to box him in and not get any of our weaker characters killed. Now I'd imagine Obright's going to be a bit of a pin cushion on this one. Pen should be relatively good at tanking him as well. Massive amount of damage there by Pen, and that's just on a normal attack. Right, now that we've managed to kind of box the commander in there, we'll have a look inside this tomb. I fail this tomb, that I will tell you from the outset. I'll try and show you how that happened, because the tombs do get a lot harder, and this is really where you can screw up. There's a number of mistakes that are made here, and I would quite like to highlight them. And you will get to see that. Meantime, you can see we've got them nicely boxed in there. Let's have a quick look inside. The thief obviously doesn't get to move initially, because while you see him go in, the game doesn't count it as being in there. It's just kind of a part of the story more than anything. Now, I'm going to be skipping through this and just showing you tomb as opposed to outside, because we're just standing around. A couple of hellhounds and a hydra there. It's not too bad, but the navigation of this particular place is rather awful. Now, you see the first mistake I've made is that I brought Eldar in on that first turn, but didn't bring Dantes in until turn 2. Bad idea. You should never, ever open a tomb until you've got all your characters ready to go inside. Because that means Dante's standing around and the thief's already stolen the second chest. He's all the way over there, so that's going to be a nightmare. Dantes obviously has a movement of 7 as opposed to the movement of 6 that Eldar has. Eldar has the the advantage of being able to get across otherwise impassable terrain, as well as not doing a lot of damage. And as you know, the thieves drop the items in the order they acquire them. Now, that thief does not have a lot of HP, and the other issue that I've got here particularly is that I did not give Dantes, and this was an incredibly stupid thing to do, I didn't give Dantes a weaker spear. I actually got rid of my weak spear, and the spear he's currently using could kill that guy in a few hits. And the item we want, I believe, is at least 3, if not 4 chests in, which is hopelessly bad. You see, there's the third item right there, large mithril, totally useless. The chances are we will kill him in that time. And the problem is also, from the looks of it, we're not going to get over there in time to block off the entrance. See, we haven't reached the thief by this turn, which means we've already lost. There really is nothing you can do about it in this situation. Whereas had I moved Danteras in at the correct time, I probably could have blocked that entrance, which would have helped matters. It may still not have done the trick, because that spear will have still done too much damage to the thief. And there's the item we're after, which we're not going to get now, the heat axe. That's the 4th chest down, and he is right next to the exit. He'll get there next turn, and there's no way we're going to be able to block it. We can't move fast enough. Now, obviously, avoiding this stuff is fine, but it's not going to help matters. One more turn would have done it. Had I sent Dantes in first, I'd have blocked that off, and we'd have probably managed to get most of the items off him. Twister. As it stands, we're just going to have to make do with the small mithril, which is a valuable item, don't get me wrong, but nowhere near as valuable as the heat axe. This is not going to help, particularly with Obright's development. Just to add insult to injury there. Most of the mobs you find in here can't really kill, but since we don't have any healers, if a couple end up ganging up, you can actually end up losing a character, which is embarrassing. And out goes the thief, and that's it. That is our first tomb loss, and hopefully our last. Right, it's time to finish off this boss and end this particular battle. Go, Pen! Nasty damage there by Pen, and I think we'll finish him off most likely with Khan. Show you a little bit of damage there from Khan. My name has been TotalBiscuit, and you've been watching Battle 17 of Let's Play Shining Force 3. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time, hopefully in the not-too-distant future.